Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Breaking news. Today, or this week I should say, we've got brand new music from Iron Maiden. The first time we heard brand new music from Iron Maiden in over 6 years. It's been that long. So they've released a new single, The Writing on the Wall, which we're going to go through and have a quick listen to now. And I want to know what you think of it, whether it's up there with the best of Iron Maiden. Is it the Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills, or is it more like Afraid to Shoot Strangers? So let me know what you think if you've heard the new song, but we're going to have a listen to it now. Hopefully by the wonders of modern technology, you'll be able to hear it through here. But let's start it off now, and I'll stop it throughout and give my reactions to it. So starting off with a much more sort of acoustic sounding. There's not many acoustic sort of guitars get played with Iron Maiden. They've appeared a little bit over the years, but not so much. Things are picking up now. Certainly sounds like an Iron Maiden song. You know, lots of that sort of dual guitar playing, lots of big, Steve Harris's bass quite big in the mix. And there's another, it seems like they're making more longer songs. So this song's over 7 minutes long. Obviously a lot of extended instrumental where 1 and a bit minutes into it, we haven't heard Bruce's vocals. Here they come. Well, I'll stop it there. I think his vocals are pretty strong, and they're a little bit strained. But he's gone through a lot. He's had throat cancer. He's no spring chicken, and I must admit, I saw him on the Book of Souls tour, and the subsequent tour, which was I think it was a best of, or it was some sort of live after death sort of thing. It was a sort of best of the 80s or something like that. And I thought his vocal performance on both those tours were absolutely superb. Better than the first time I saw him play in 1991. I thought his voice was brilliant, and by the sounds of this, it still sounds pretty good. So let's start it up again. Yeah, I mean, you should definitely check out the video as well, because there's like a nice little animated story of like the end of the world sort of thing. Very sort of Iron Maiden-esque. Yeah. This song called Writing on the Wall. Nice sing-along sort of chorus. It's a sort of mid-pace rocker really. It's not really fast, but it's sounds pretty good. And there's a sort of, I don't know, almost like a sort of westerny sort of sound to the guitars on this. I'll fast forward it a bit through just to... Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've done one of these sort of listen alongs. It's a bit, when you got a 7 minute song, you don't want to see me just sitting here banging my head. You can listen to it in a better quality. I'll put a link to their official YouTube channel and the video of it if you haven't watched it already, because the video is definitely worth watching. I mean, it's quite catchy, isn't it? It's definitely up there with some of their sort of catchier songs. Yeah, it's not Number of the Beast. It's not a big driving fast song, but I think that's what they're doing more. They're sort of much more progressive sort of sounding now. Let's see if we can get to the guitar solos. Maybe we're building up to that now. So I'm not sure which. It's always usually Dave Murray that plays the first solo. But it's a little bit slower and bluesier than more like Adrian Smith. We've just got one solo there, or one guitar playing on that. And then we've got this sort of dual or even triple lead playing. I think this is actually written by Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson, so it's probably Adrian Smith probably plays the solo. Different solo. Yeah, it makes me think more that actually Dave Murray played the first, because the second one's a little bit more intricate, more of the Adrian Smith sort of sound. And we're at 4.5 minutes through now. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Adrian Smith's solo, he sort of choreographs them. He really spends time thinking about his solos, and that's why although I love Dave Murray's playing, they're much more faster and sort of a little bit more sort of immediate, and it's difficult to pick out his solos from each song that he does. But with Adrian Smith, he just puts this bluesy a bit more to them. Yannick Gers, well, his solo's a little bit more frantic, I think, as well. But until we see it played live, we won't really know who plays what on this album. And you can hear that sort of bluesy guitar all the way through it now. And that's when you've got three guitarists, it makes it easier then when you're playing it live. You can still do your twin lead stuff, but you can still have a bit of guitar solo over the top of that as well. I'm slowing it down a bit now. Yeah, it ends pretty abruptly. Yeah, it says it's Smith and Dickinson. Stories by Dickinson. We just got some credits here, so it's probably just over 6 minutes actually. The song, it's not as long as I thought it was. So that's the writing on the wall. But what about? We've heard the song. We've heard that they released it basically out of the blue, and then literally 2 days later, they've released what is going to be. Well, they released news of their new album. So, the new album, the first album in 6 years, their 17th studio album, is called Senjutsu. And hopefully that is how you pronounce it. It's going to come out on September the 3rd. It was recorded in Paris with producer Kevin Shirley, who's been a long-time producer since the beginning of the millennium, really, and also co-produced by Steve Harris. So Senjutsu, it's loosely translated as tactics and strategy. And again, you've got the Mark Wilkinson, who's been doing the recent sort of album covers. He's created this sort of samurai sort of themed artwork. And not only is it going to be a new album for the last new album, you think we've waited so long for a new album, this is going to be a double album, 82 minutes long. But what's incredible about it is there's only 10 songs on it, so there's a lot of big epic songs on this album. As I said, it's been recorded in France. They said they got to relax. I'm not going to go through all the sort of stuff. You can check it out on their website. But it's they actually started recording in 2019, so before lockdown, really. And they probably built on that, but they put a lot of that in between their tours. Yeah, it says here they recorded it back in early 2019 during the Legacy tour. That was probably the tour that I saw them on the second time. And they built it up, and it's saying here that Bruce said there's some really great songs here, but there's a few songs that sound different to the usual sound. So I mean, that song that we just heard, Right on the Wall, I think it's very much an Iron Maiden sounding song. Yes, there's a bit of the acoustic guitar at the beginning that's a bit different. But let's go through the 10 songs. So I've got a track list in here, and I always find with Iron Maiden it's looking who wrote what songs, and the time, the track time for these songs, because this is where you're going to be quite amazed. This is a full-on prog sort of metal album, really. So the track listing: 10 songs. Track 1 is the title track, Senjutsu, written by Adrian Smith and Steve Harris. This is 8 minutes and 20 seconds, so a big epic to start the album. Then we got Stratego, which is by Yannick Gers and Harris. This is a shorter track, 4 minutes 59. Then we got the song Writing on the Wall, and actually it's 6 minutes 13, the actual time of that song. So it's a sort of mid-pace, sort of mid-length sort of song. As I said, Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson wrote that song. So track 4, Lost in a Lost World. This is a Steve Harris pen track. It's an epic, 9 minutes and 31. He does seem to write the more epic songs on the album. Track 5, Days of Future Past, another Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson, and a short track, 4 minutes and 3. It's actually the shortest track on the album. Then we've got The Time Machine, track 6, which is by Yannick Gers and Steve Harris, 7 minutes and 9. Darkest Hour is track 7, another Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson, 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Death of the Celts, this is a Steve Harris song. He does like writing about the sort of Celtic sort of traditions and sort of Celtic history. This is a 10 minute and 20 second, and it's not the longest song on the album. Track 9, The Parchment, another Steve Harris song. 12 minutes and 39 seconds, the longest song on the album, a big epic. And then the last track on the album is called Hell on Earth. It's another Steve Harris song, and it's 11 minutes 19. So we got three songs that kick in at over 10 minutes long. We've got 8 minutes, 9.5 minutes, a couple of 7 minutes, 6 minutes, and a couple of 4 minutes. All long, big songs. Now, whether you like that or not, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. But this is going to be a big album. I know it's going to sound like live. It's going to have lots of intricate little parts in it. But it's certainly how they're going. A lot of their songs are now much longer and more epic. And I think this is Steve Harris is what it's all about. You know that the long songs are always going to be Steve Harris's songs. But what do you think of it? Are you looking forward to it? What do you think of that song that we've just played, The Writing on the Wall? As I said, check out the video. I'll put the link down there to the official video and everything. Double CD, it's a double album. It's going to be on triple vinyl. You can buy all the different special versions of it. The artwork looks great. I think it's going to be another brilliant album, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't know, obviously Iron Maiden are headlining Download next year, that was delayed from this year. So we've got Iron Maiden headlining one day, Kiss on another, and I think Biffy Clyro is the other headliner. Anyone going to that, looking forward to it. I'm not sure whether I'll be there, but I would like to see Iron Maiden again, because I think they're a brilliant band, superb live band, always put on a great show. And I thought I'd bring this to you. So if you haven't already, check it out. Check out all the information. I'm sure if you go on the internet, you'll find loads of information and some interviews and all the rest of it. But I hope you enjoy this little sort of introduction. I'm a massive Iron Maiden fan. I know there's a lot of you out there that are too. So let's look forward to new music. It seems like now we're getting to the point where bands are starting to release new music. And until the next one, keep on rocking.